Nightside, a failed levy will limit resources for a local school district. Why sports and extracurriculars will be the first to go.
Clear and cool tonight, but we are heating up in the 7-day forecast. I'll let you know how hot it is going to get.
A local rancher and tribal members are banding together, keeping watch through the night for wolves. Why the ranch owner says there's no end in sight. You're watching 4 News Now Nightside. Tonight, the West Bonner School District decided to cut sports and extracurriculars for next year. It's a proposed budget that must be approved by the state, and that will happen in late June. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Aaron Luna.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. The district's $4.7 million levy failed a few weeks back, and the school board decided that it doesn't have the funding for sports and extracurriculars if they want to keep priorities like the school resource officer. The school board's decision tonight devastating families and students. New on Nightside, our Rania Kaur reports from Priest River.
Aaron, Kirsten, behind me is just a small group of parents and students out here showing their support for their favorite team, the Spartans. They say sports here are a huge part of their lives. From the road, it's clear where these students and parents stand.
Sports is my life, basically. It's sad to see them all go if they end up leaving.
Sports is the reason Haley Scott says these kids stay in school.
If we don't have sports, our kids don't have a lot of drive moving into going into school in the upper years. We can motivate them in as many ways as possible, but sports are hugely motivating, and those other extracurriculars as well.
The district's $4.7 million levy failed in May. On Wednesday, the school board decided the district could not prioritize sports and extracurriculars, instead prioritizing staff, transportation, food, and their school resource officer, paying for those using one-time funding from the state. The board says teachers are still going to be cut. For high schooler Marley Burgess-Ducassette, it means one thing.
I believe that I'd be moving to a different school, which sucks because I've literally been going to this district since kindergarten.
It's either that or lose her chance at an athletic scholarship one day.
You'd move from a small school where you get to play a lot of minutes. I've been on varsity for all my sports all 3 years, and to move to a bigger school where I have a chance of not being in that spot would really be a hard challenge to overcome.
The school board can decide to bring back a smaller levy for a vote in August. They would have to decide by July.
And we're willing to work with the school district, the board, to find different ways, but that we're here and that we are not going to go away.
In Priest River, Rania Kaur, 4 News Now.
Well, temperatures are going to get even warmer.
They are, but it felt really good tonight. So that counts for anything.
Yes.
Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to see how warm it's going to get.
Oh, we are warming up. We're going to jump about 15 degrees by the time all is said and done, between 15 and 20. But in the meantime, it is a clear and cool night across the inland northwest. It's going to be sunny and in the 70s on Thursday in the comfort zone. But we have a warming trend that's going to take us well into the 80s this weekend and possibly into the 90-degree range next week. Here's a look at our current temperatures. It's only 48 in Deer Park. We're in the lower 50s in Spirit Lake, mid-50s for Fairchild Air Force Base, Cheney and Spangle, and it's 60 right now at Spokane International Airport. Our lows tomorrow morning will be down in the 40s through the Spokane area, and that will also be the case on a wider view. A couple spots staying at 50 degrees, but it is going to be a nice cool start to the day over much of the region. Our highs tomorrow will be topping out in the mid-70s in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 80 in Omak, Grand Coulee and Lewiston, 77 in Bonners Ferry, and 74 in Sandpoint. Your Thursday planner, 71 is our average high, so we'll be just a hair above average. Blue skies and sunshine, southwest winds at just 5 to 10 miles per hour. So a relatively calm day and a beautiful Thursday. I'll let you know about the warming trend in the forecast and if it's going to stay sunny in just a few minutes. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. We have a tragic update to tell you about that crash that sent a Spokane Valley mother and her 3 sons to the hospital last week. One of the toddlers, 2.5-year-old Thor, has died. According to Washington State Patrol, Amanda Hendricks and her boys were crossing Highway 27 at East 24th Avenue. The driver was a 16-year-old. There's no word yet if the teen will face any charges. Patients at Sacred Heart Children's Hospital received a special visit today from superheroes. Window cleaners dressed up in capes were rappelling down and putting smiles on patients' faces.
The special day celebrates the patients and caregivers who take care of the children when they need it the most. Window cleaners dressed up as superheroes, putting smiles on faces, much needed distraction for the children behind the glass. The meaningful day helps raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. The money raised pays for patient programs, special technology, and staff training. Descending the side of the building is something these superheroes look forward to each year.
Looking in and seeing these kids respond from a condition of being really obviously in a lot of pain, obviously not feeling really well, but then they'll muster a smile. We'll try to do funny things to get them to maybe forget about how they're feeling for a little bit.
11-year-old Emma is battling cancer and designed the Superhero Day shirt this year. It's inspired by Legos and her dad's favorite superhero.
And I kind of wanted Batman to resemble me, because Batman has one leg like me, and then he's connected to a chemo pole, and then just a Lego nurse.
Emma hopes to inspire other children to push through their situation.
We have a chance to try a small batch beer brewed between No Lie Brew House and Eastern Washington University. On June 5th, No Lie will host its first ever keg tapping and release party to celebrate its collaboration with EWU's craft brewing program. EWU students worked on a unique Belgian double ale appropriately named EW. You'll want to show up early because the first 30 people will get a complimentary drink ticket.
And time for a look at First Sports. I'm Julian Minnesome. Now, the deadline has passed for NBA prospects to withdraw their names from the NBA draft. It was a bit of good news and bad news for Gonzaga basketball. Start with the good news. Forward Anton Watson will not remain in the NBA draft and will return to Gonzaga for one more season. Watson was an all-WCC honorable mention who averaged 11 points a game for the Bulldogs last season. The Spokane native was also a key defensive player for the Bulldogs as they made an 8th straight trip to the Sweet 16. Now, the bad news, Gonzaga guard Malachi Smith will not be returning to Gonzaga. Smith has decided to remain in the NBA draft and try his luck at the pros. Smith was a WCC 6th Man of the Year, averaging 8 points a game last season. And coming up in sports, we have an update on a Washington State player who is not returning to the Cougars next season. Live in the studio, Julian Minnesome, 4 News Now Sports.
Julian, thank you. The Salvation Army has unveiled its new method of connecting people experiencing homelessness to the services they need. The organization says these 2 new street-level vans will be used to drive people living on the streets or homeless camps to nearby shelters. Earlier this month, 4 News Now told you about the ongoing graffiti and theft problems at Spokane parks.
Another issue the city's Parks and Rec department faces that's impacting their cleanup is trying to hire a plumber. At Mission Park, there's graffiti and other garbage scattered around the park, and it's an ongoing issue. So are plumbing problems at Spokane parks. Without a full-time plumber, the city's Parks department has had to increase their spending for on-call plumbing services. And it looks like they are trying to fill that vacancy, but in the last 6 months, the city has spent over $163,000 as a result of vandalism at city parks. And this plumber vacancy situation isn't helping with that. Earlier today, the budget was approved by the Parks Land Committee, and it will still need to be approved by the full park board next Thursday.
New on Nightside, a man has been arrested for violently attacking a stranger near Seattle's Pike Place Market.
Lynn Ann Wynn reports.
Seattle firefighters rushed to help a man who'd been knocked to the ground and was bleeding heavily after being knocked to the pavement head first. This all happening during a busy Sunday afternoon on a holiday weekend near First and Pike by the entrance to Pike Place Market. Court documents state the 24-year-old suspect had been trying to start a fight and followed 2 people into this store, punching one of them. The blow causing the victim to fall into the store's scanner. Police say the suspect continued to threaten them, started to walk away, but then suddenly turned around and punched the victim again.
You see a little bit of everything. It's humbling sometimes, but it's also a little crazy at times.
Jarrell Banks works as a security guard nearby and says he's not surprised about Sunday's attack.
And I see people smoking all kind of drugs, I've seen people naked out here.
The Seattle Shirt Company, which has a location at First and Pike, hired their own security a couple years ago to protect staff like Crystal Odie.
There's been a few times where people have lunged at me, people have yelled at me.
This area has also seen an increase in assaults in recent years, according to SPD's crime data. We asked if there's anything being done to increase security in this area, but Seattle police would not say if they're making any changes as the summer travel season gets underway.
I love Seattle. I wish we did something to clean it up a little bit so everyone would stop being so scared.
Reporting in Seattle, Leanne Wynn, KOMO News.
Spokane police say the man suspected of killing Spokane businessman Archie Rutherford in 1982 has died in the Spokane County Jail. Tracy Pruitt was the only suspect in Rutherford's death. He was arrested in California in October of last year. The Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office says Pruitt died of natural causes.
Still to come, what caused hundreds of Amazon workers to walk out of the company's Seattle headquarters today.
And workers allegedly watching people in their homes through their Ring cameras. The near $6 million lawsuit the company now faces.
A local rancher fears for her animals after a dozen of her livestock were killed by wolves. What the state says about that next on Nightside.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Kootenai Heart Clinics.
Finally, gardens are growing, flowers are blooming, and the Celebrate Spring event at Jacobs Custom Living continues. New furniture has arrived, and Jacobs really has the largest and most varied inventory ever. Comfortable lounge furniture, elegant outdoor dining sets, umbrellas, and much more. Take it home today if you're ready or get free storage for a limited time. Special spring clearance pricing on select items throughout the store. Come celebrate spring at Jacobs Custom Living on Sprague, just east of Sullivan in the Spokane Valley.
Held over by popular demand, the Northwest Spa Sale in Spokane. Save up to 50% off hundreds of hot tubs and swim spots. Easy low-rate financing. The Northwest Spa Sale at Spokane's Northtown Mall ends Sunday. nwspasale.com.
Performance. It's what powers the 2023 family of Mazda CUVs. With standard I-Active all-wheel drive and an available turbo engine. Helping you take performance further.
With effortless power and the reliability of I-Active all-wheel drive, Mazda CUVs are built for the Pacific Northwest. Take a test drive today at Foothills Mazda or shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
I was scared the night you overdosed, but I was prepared. I brought naloxone with me. I learned when to use it. I learned how to use it. And I know you trusted me to use it. I held your hand tight when you woke up because I wanted you to feel safe. Your life is worth saving, friend, and I would save it again if I had to.
Pop the champagne, humanity. We've done it.
Celebrate your night with big winners, shocking thrills, and living legends.
You know, I've always thought of you as Dave Jr.
Oh, every hair on my body is standing up right now.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, weeknights on ABC.
4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort Hotel.
Thanks for staying up with us. A Republic guest ranch is feeling helpless after their pastures have been the latest feeding ground for a pack of wolves.
The owners at K Diamond K Ranch say they've lost dozens of livestock animals to the wolves, from alpacas to horses, even cows. Kathy McKay says the bloodshed has gotten more frequent. She's turned to the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife for help. They have been able to identify a new pack in the area that could be contributing to the problem, and they recently caught one wolf but released her because of existing protocols.
We have to have, according to our plan and protocol, we have to have 2 non-lethals in place for a reasonable amount of time to try to work, or they haven't, or they've shown that they're not going to work for this particular ranch. Then we would consider non-lethal or lethal control at that point.
Kathy has also called on nearby Colville tribal members for help. Some have been surveying the land and others are taking shifts at night, making sure the wolves don't attack. Tribal members have different treaty rights when it comes to hunting wolves. And while members say their goal is never to kill all of them, they say when a pack is this much of a threat, they are able to rebalance the predator and prey relationship. If you're planning on leaving on a summer vacation soon, I bet you've thought about keeping your home safe and how you're going to do that.
Spokane Community-Oriented Policing Services, or COPS, will actually check on your home while you're away. It's a program they took over from the police department last year. You can sign up for free on their website, SpokaneCops.org. Then volunteers like Mark Arnold and Kevin Burke will make the rounds in retired patrol cars, making sure nothing looks suspicious at your house. They say seeing COPS volunteers drive by in a marked car can be a strong deterrent for would-be burglars.
We're just an extra layer creating a presence when you see this car go by. If you're one of those guys checking something out, you go, what are they doing here?
We'll tell you what else they recommend to keep your home safe while you're away and how COPS would like to see its Vacation Home Checks program grow. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest.
I appreciate those volunteers. Here's a look at our temperature trend over the next 7 days, and we are definitely in an upward motion. This white line right here is our average high, which is down in the lower 70s. We are headed to the upper 80s, possibly the lower 90s by next week. Tomorrow's still in the mid 70s. Long range forecast looking out June 8th to 14th. We are still in that above average temperature trend. Here's what's going on right now. We have all this moisture streaming up into the Intermountain West. We've had a number of severe thunderstorm warnings in parts of southern Idaho and Montana today, and it's just brushing the panhandle with some clouds. As we take a look at the next 48 hours, we have enough of a southwesterly flow that we're going to keep most of that moisture to our east over the next 24 hours. Here we go through the day on Thursday at 6 o'clock. We may start to see a few more clouds and possibly even a sprinkle or two in the central panhandle by Friday morning before we begin clearing out again for the weekend, and we'll continue to see those showers throughout western Montana. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Sunshine day after day, an occasional high or mid-level cloud drifting by in association with that moisture to our east. Possibly some thunderstorms next week, but in the meantime, we are dry and sunny and a lake weekend to be sure. I'll be back in just a few minutes. It is Wildlife Wednesday. Kirsten.
Ooh, my favorite day of the week. Thank you, Chris. Around the Northwest, hundreds of Amazon workers walked out of the company's Seattle headquarters today. They are protesting recent layoffs at the company's Amazon's environmental impact, as well as the new policy requiring corporate workers be back in the office at least 3 days a week.
The Federal Trade Commission says that some workers at Ring watched people through their home security cameras. The agency claims one Ring employee viewed thousands of such videos from at least 81 female users back in 2017. That's before Amazon acquired the company in 2018. Amazon still agreed to settle the FTC's lawsuit for $5.8 million. The retailer also agreed to implement a new data security program.
Well, bank jugging. It's a form of mugging, and it's on the rise. That's next on Nightside.
Later tonight on Nightline, that 70s show star and Scientologist Danny Masterson convicted of 2 counts of rape. The actor's stunning fall from grace, plus the Real Housewife on the real struggle of postpartum depression millions of women face.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Hepatitis C? Don't just treat it. Crush it with Maverick.
Conquer it with Maverick.
Cure it with Maverick. Maverick cures all types of Hep C.
In only 8 weeks.
The virus multiplies daily and can damage the liver over time. Maverick stops Hep C and cures it. If you've had hepatitis B, it may flare up and cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you've had Hep B, a liver or kidney transplant, other liver problems, HIV, other medical conditions, and all your medicines. Do not take Maverick with atazanavir or rifampin. Report right away yellow skin, stomach pain or swelling, confusion and bleeding or bruising.
Hep C? Crush it with Maverick.
Conquer it.
Cure it in only 8 weeks. See Hep C gone with Maverick.
Ask your doctor about Maverick. AbbVie could help you save.
This is Dan. Dan is digging a tunnel. Dan really wants to attend the MLB All-Star Week at T-Mobile Park, so Dan is digging. Too bad no one told Dan about the $5 Hit 5 ticket from Washington's lottery. Each purchase comes with a chance to win one of 14 MLB All-Star Week prize packages. But Dan doesn't know that, so Dan is digging. Good luck, Dan. You might want to hurry.
Or go get a $5 Hit 5 ticket from Washington's lottery.
Hondas are piggy banks on wheels. Stylish, athletic piggy banks that save you money at every glorious turn. Legendary fuel efficiency, famous for its resale value, and now with great deals including 2 years complimentary maintenance, it's your chance to get into America's best value brand. So start saving money and drive happy as a pig in your Inland Northwest Honda dealer today. Honda can handle it.
Stream 4 News Now free on your connected TV with KXLY+. You can stream live newscasts, get special reports, and exclusive content on demand and on your schedule. Local news and weather for free. Check out KXLY+ and start streaming today.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Coeur d'Alene Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Thanks for staying up with Nightside. Washington is suing manufacturers of PFAS to force them to cover the cost of cleaning up waterways contaminated with their chemicals. The Attorney General's office saying close to 200 water sources, including the Spokane River, have tested positive for the forever chemical. The lawsuit is specifically targeting chemicals used in firefighting foam. The Attorney General saying these corporations knew for decades about the serious risks these forever chemicals pose to human health and our environment.
It is time for Wildlife Wednesday, and I have some wonderful photos to share with you tonight. Starting with Nora Jen, this beautiful little mule deer buck. You can see the little starts of some antlers there on his head. This Marty Stowe shared this photo of a curious house finch trying to check out what Marty is doing, is a little confused. Ken Sauls shared this photo of a big old black bear boar just off the highway, he says, enjoying plenty of dandelions to eat. No need to eat the tourists. Larry Grumpelman, I do love this photo for a couple of reasons. It's a wonderful photo, but Larry says that his wife Kazu, who also contributes to Wildlife Wednesday, took him out for his 82nd birthday to look for owls. So this is a birthday short-eared owl for Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Ron Burdick shared this photo of some American goldfinch and says the one on the left looks like he's flashing and the other one is flying away. I can see it. So, good, well done, Ron. Our friend Gordon Gillespie down in Clarkston spotted these pelicans in Swallow's Nest Park there along the Snake River. Great shot there, Gordon. I like the framing on that. And finally, because it's so cute, Mary Wilbur shared this photo of a thirsty squirrel getting a drink out of a bird bath that Mary made. That squirrel obviously has not found a way to get to the bird feeder. He looks a little lean. The squirrels in my backyard are chubbos because they have been dining on the finest birdseed from Wild Birds Unlimited. Mary must have a knack for keeping them out.
That is so cute. Don't worry, little squirrel. We're almost to Thirsty Thursday. New on Nightside. Mental health treatment is evolving.
Online telehealth companies and apps are now offering access to mental health care you can get at home. Nearly 40% of mental health visits with therapists were done virtually in 2021. Use of online therapy companies and mental health apps also spiked during the pandemic.
Whether it be online or in person, is that there's no one size fits all. And so doing work to prepare, know what you're looking for, and seek information ahead of time is going to be the best bet in finding good treatment.
So how can you decide if online therapy apps are right for you? First, ask questions. Know what you're looking for. Is it a specific issue, something time limited, or just overall care? Next, know that not all services are created equally. Some platforms don't provide therapists. They just connect you to other resources. And finally, one size does not fit all.
In a historic ruling, the billionaire owners of Purdue Pharma must pay $6 billion for their role in the nation's opioid crisis. Lawsuits against Purdue Pharma and its owners started stacking up into the tens of trillions of dollars. So to avoid years of continued legal battles, the deal was made.
$6 billion deal will fund treatment and prevention. It gets the Sacklers out of the opioid business. It shuts down Purdue Pharma.
The $6 billion goes to several states and other claimants. Of that, at least $750 million will go directly to victims and families who have lost loved ones. Since 1999, more than 500,000 people have died from an opioid overdose in the U.S. That's according to the CDC. There could still be federal charges against Purdue Pharma and the owners ahead.
New on Nightside, jugging is when criminals lie in wait outside banks or ATMs and follow people they think have withdrawn large amounts of cash and then rob them at their next stop. Take a look at this. It's the moment Texas resident Liz Kaiser became a victim of what police call bank jugging.
I knew when he was on the seat exactly what he was after.
Kaiser is one of a number of recent victims of what police say could easily turn violent. Some of those cases recently caught on camera. Multiple states have seen a rise in these types of attacks, and officials are telling people to stay alert. They're looking for people walking out with bank envelopes. One of Washington State's best players will not return to the team next season. We have the latest coming up in sports.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Washington's Lottery and Hit 5.
.929 CCU. CCU.
I had a lot of bad days with gout, but that one took the wedding cake. Even with medicine, my uric acid was still too high to stop painful gout buildup. Then a gout specialist told me about Cristexa.
Cristexa is a prescription medicine for adults with gout whose symptoms are not controlled by other gout medicines.
I learned Cristexa quickly starts working to break down gout buildup.
Cristexa is an infused medicine. Serious life-threatening allergic reactions can occur while taking Cristexa. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as shortness of breath, trouble breathing, dizziness, itching, or swelling of the throat or tongue. Cristexa is not recommended if you have high levels of uric acid without a history of gout. Do not take Cristexa if you have a rare disorder called G6PD deficiency or favism. Before receiving Cristexa, tell your doctor if you have a history of heart problems and all the medicines you take. Cristexa may cause gout flare-ups, allergic reactions, nausea, bruising, sore throat, constipation, chest pain, and vomiting.
I received Cristexa for about 6 months. Now I'm in control, not gout.
Find a doctor who specializes in gout at goutdocnow.com.
Summer travel, empty houses back home. But there's a special team that watches your property and alerts Spokane police if there's a problem. What are the biggest red flags that tell burglars nobody is home and how you can put the team to work for you? Tomorrow, only on Good Morning Northwest.
Thanks for tuning into sports. I'm Julian Minnesone. The Gonzaga basketball Twitter account posted this picture of Anton Watson with the words, "I'm back." Watson has decided to withdraw from the NBA draft and return to Gonzaga for one more season. Watson was an all-WCC honorable mention who averaged 11 points a game for the Bulldogs last season. Now, the Spokane native was also a key defensive player for the Bulldogs as they made an 8th straight trip to the Sweet 16. Gonzaga guard Malachi Smith will not be returning to the Bulldogs. Smith has decided to remain in the NBA draft. Smith was the WCC Sixth Man of the Year, averaging 8 points a game last season. Washington State guard Justin Powell will stay in the NBA draft and not return to WSU. Powell started in every game for the Cougars last season after transferring from Tennessee. He also shot 42% from three-point range. This is the full list of players who are either staying in the NBA draft or returning to school. With Watson and Eastern Washington transfer Steele Venters returning to Gonzaga, that means the Bulldogs have 2 scholarship spots available on its roster. And you can already start making plans for the Washington State football season. Start times have been announced for 4 Cougar football games. The Cougars open the season at 4 o'clock on September 2nd on the road against Colorado State. That will be followed by Washington State's home opener against Wisconsin on September 9th. That one kicks off at 4:30 right here on KXLY. The following week will be a 2 o'clock kickoff at home against Northern Colorado. And Washington State's final home game of the season is at 7:30 on a Friday night against Deion Sanders in Colorado. Now, the remaining games that haven't been announced will be announced 6 or 12 days in advance. Now, the Idaho football game against Montana, scheduled for 7:30 p.m. on October 14th at the Kibbie Dome, will be broadcasted on national TV, ESPN2. The matchup, also known as the Battle for the Little Brown Stein, is the first game on one of ESPN's main networks for the Vandals in 5 years. Idaho beat Montana on the road 30-23 last season. After getting crushed in the first 2 games, the Seattle Mariners were looking to avoid the sweep against the New York Yankees. Mariners pitcher George Kirby is a New York native, and he got the start against the team he grew up watching. And Kirby, he had some of his best stuff this season, and he also had great defense behind him, including that play by shortstop J.P. Crawford. Take another look at that play right there at short. Kirby went 8 innings and didn't allow a single run. Now, we would go to extra innings in the top of the 10th. No score. Bases loaded for the Yankees. Justin Topa will strike out Franchi Cordero as the Mariners go to the bottom of the 10th, needing just 1 run to win, and Cal Raleigh delivers. They call him the big dumper, and he dumps one into the outfield and walks it off for Seattle as Raleigh is swarmed by his teammates after the win right there. They're all celebrating. You love it. The Mariners salvaged the series by winning the finale 1-0. Seattle will hit the road for a 3-game series against the Texas Rangers starting Friday. And that'll wrap us up for sports. We'll be right back.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
If your checking account isn't earning you money, it's time to switch to bonus checking from Numerica. The account that earns an incredible 2% annual percentage yield. That could earn you up to $500 every year or more.
I'm Chad Young from the Easy Home Buyer, and I pay cash for houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast for cash, call us today for your no obligation as-is cash offer. We buy houses in any condition, and there are no fees, no commissions, and no repairs. We buy houses with tenants, fixer-uppers, bare land, even haunted houses. Woo! Call us today or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
We're cranking up the RPMs for a 48-hour sales event at the Cal Superstores in Airway Heights, Coeur d'Alene, and Spokane on Division Street, where today and tomorrow we're going to sell 48 rigs in 48 hours by giving you big discounts and fantastic trade-in offers. Plus, $48 down is all you need. We're even delaying all payments for 48 days, so you can get that rig you've always wanted this week for less. Today and tomorrow for 48 hours at all Cal locations.
Held over by popular demand, the Northwest Spa Sale in Spokane. Save up to 50% off hundreds of hot tubs and swim spas. Easy low-rate financing. The Northwest Spa Sale at Spokane's Northtown Mall and Sunday. NWSpaSale.com.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Here is your Thursday planner. It is going to be absolutely beautiful. Blue skies, sunshine, generally light winds, a high of 74. 71 is our average high. Chamber of Commerce weather.
What about those light winds?
Oh, light winds. We'll be fine.
Blowing our hair in the breeze.
Sounds concerning. Huh?
You gonna do your Marilyn Monroe, maybe?
Maybe. Julian, you weren't supposed to say anything about that. Called out on air.
Oh.
Enjoy it while you can because it's getting warm out there.
Yep.
Sleep with the windows open.